Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are watching this video right now, I am pretty sure you either have an Australian student visa interview coming up, or you are planning to apply very soon. Either way, you are exactly where you need to be. Because today, I am going to walk you through the most important visa interview questions that every student must know before they sit in front of that visa officer in 2026. And I promise you, some of these questions are going to surprise you. So please watch this video all the way to the end because the most important part is coming later and you do not want to miss it. Before we get into it, I want to ask you something. Have you ever heard of a student who had everything perfectly ready? The university offer letter, the bank statements, every single document in order, and still got rejected at the interview? It happens more often than you think, and it happens not because of missing paperwork, but because of how that student answered questions, how confident they sounded, and whether the visa officer believed their story. That is exactly what we are going to fix today. By the end of this video, you will know not just what questions to expect, but exactly how to answer them in a way that sounds genuine, confident, and convincing. Let's start with the very first question that almost every visa officer asks. Why do you want to study in Australia? Now, this sounds like an easy question, but most students completely waste it. They say something like, Australia has good universities, or I heard Australia is a nice country. That kind of answer tells the officer nothing useful. What they actually want to hear is your specific reason. Why Australia and not the UK, Canada, Germany, or any other country? Your answer needs to be personal and detailed. You should talk about how Australia's universities are globally ranked in your specific field. You should mention how the Australian education system focuses on practical, hands-on learning rather than just theory. If your industry has strong opportunities in Australia, mention that too. The more specific and genuine your answer sounds, the more the officer will trust you. Right after that, they will almost always ask you why you chose your particular university. And this is where so many students fall apart, because they cannot explain it beyond saying it was a good university. Before your interview, you need to actually research your university. Know where it ranks in your field of study. Know something unique about its course structure or facilities. Know the city it is located in and what kind of opportunities that city offers for someone studying in your field. If you are studying information technology and your university is in Melbourne or Sydney, mention the booming tech industry in those cities. If you are in healthcare, mention the hospital partnerships your university has. Specifics show the officer that you made a real, informed decision, not just a random choice. Then they will ask you to explain what your course is actually about. This sounds simple, but it trips up a lot of students. The officer wants to know that you genuinely understand what you signed up for. So before your interview, read your course description carefully. Know the main subjects you will be studying. Know how long the course runs and what degree or qualification you will receive at the end. Know how this course connects to your previous education or your career goals. If you are switching fields from your previous degree, be ready to explain why clearly and logically. The officer needs to believe that your choice of course makes sense for your life and your future. Now we come to one of the most important questions in the entire interview. What are your plans after you finish your studies in Australia? I want you to really pay attention here. The visa officer's job is to verify that students who enter Australia on a student visa will genuinely return home after their course ends. So this question is absolutely critical. Your answer must paint a clear picture of your life back home waiting for you. Maybe there is a family business that needs you. Maybe your field has strong career demand in your home country. Maybe you have family responsibilities or property at home. Whatever your real situation is, speak about it clearly and confidently. And please do not say that you want to permanently settle in Australia. Even if that is a dream of yours, saying it in a visa interview is one of the fastest ways to get rejected on the spot. After that, expect them to ask about your finances. Who is paying for your education and your living expenses in Australia? Be very clear and very consistent here. If your parents are sponsoring you, say so with confidence. If it is a mix of your personal savings and family support, explain that calmly and clearly. Whatever you say must match exactly what is written in your bank statements and financial documents. Even a small inconsistency between what you say and what is on paper can raise a red flag immediately. If your financial situation is a little complicated, do not try to hide it or oversimplify it. Explain it honestly, because honesty always sounds more convincing than a rehearsed answer that falls apart under follow-up questions. They may also ask you whether you have any relatives or friends currently living in Australia. Some students think that mentioning family there will help their case. It can actually work against you if you handle it the wrong way. If you do have relatives or friends in Australia, be honest about it. But immediately make it clear that your purpose in Australia is to study and return, not to join them or stay permanently. Say something like, "Yes, I have a cousin in Melbourne, but my main goal is to complete my degree and come back home to build my career." Never lie about this. Immigration systems across countries share information, and if they discover you hid something, the consequences can follow you for years. Another question that comes up regularly is whether you have ever been refused a visa for any country before. Always answer this honestly, no matter what. If you have had a refusal in the past, explain what happened and what has changed since then. Maybe your financial situation has improved. Maybe your application is now much stronger. Whatever the reason, be transparent and calm when you explain it. Trying to hide a previous refusal is one of the most dangerous mistakes a student can make in an immigration interview. Even though you have already submitted your English language test scores, the officer will still be paying close attention to how you actually communicate during the interview. They are informally checking whether you can express yourself clearly and understand what is being asked. This means you need to practice speaking in English before your interview, not just reading answers silently in your head. Practice out loud. Record yourself. Listen back and see where you hesitate or where you sound unsure. You do not need a perfect accent or complicated vocabulary. You just need to speak clearly, calmly, and confidently. And if you do not understand a question, politely ask them to repeat it. That is far better than guessing and giving a wrong answer. They may also ask how you plan to manage your studies and your daily life in Australia. This is their way of checking how prepared and mature you are. Do you know the cost of living in the city where your university is located? Do you have a plan for accommodation? Do you know the rules around part-time work on a student visa? In Australia, student visa holders are generally allowed to work a certain number of hours per week during the semester. Knowing these basic practical details and mentioning them naturally in your answer shows the officer that you are a serious, well-prepared student who has genuinely thought this through. Now, before I wrap up, let me quickly go through the biggest mistakes that get students rejected in Australian visa interviews, because avoiding these is just as important as giving strong answers. The first mistake is giving vague, generic answers that could apply to any student anywhere in the world. Be specific to your own situation. The second mistake is being inconsistent between what you say and what your documents show. Always stay aligned. The third mistake is sounding unsure or changing your answer mid-sentence. Think before you speak and be decisive. The fourth mistake is being dishonest, even about small things. Lies have a way of surfacing, and the consequences are serious. And the fifth and maybe the most common mistake is simply not preparing. Some students assume they can just walk in and answer naturally without any practice. That works only if you have already deeply thought through every aspect of your application, your course, and your plans. Otherwise, practice is not optional, it is essential. So here are your final tips before you walk into that interview room. Dress professionally, because first impressions genuinely matter. Arrive early so you are calm and not rushed. Bring all your original documents even if you already submitted copies. Speak slowly and clearly. Do not rush your answers just because you are nervous. If you do not know something, admit it honestly rather than making something up. And above all, be genuine. Your real story, told honestly and confidently, is always more convincing than a perfectly memorized script that sounds robotic. All right, guys, that is everything you need to walk into your Australian visa interview in 2026 feeling prepared, confident, and ready. I really hope this video gave you clarity and took some of that nervousness away because you deserve to go in there feeling strong. If this helped you, please give this video a thumbs up right now. It means everything to this channel. Drop a comment below and tell me which question you were most nervous about before watching this. I read every comment, and I would love to hear from you. Subscribe if you are new here, share this with a friend who has an interview coming up, and I will see you in the very next video. Good luck, go get that visa, and I will see you soon.